My beloved child, the moment you opened this message, something inside you shifted, so quietly, so powerfully, like a flame discovering its own heat for the very first time. What you don't know yet is that your person, the one whose presence once shook your heartbeat, has been secretly watching the way you move through life with a level of awe they cannot explain to anyone. They don't talk about it openly. They don't post it online. But deep in their chest, there is a truth burning louder than any confession they've ever made. You are their biggest inspiration. Every step you take in independence, every moment you choose confidence over fear, sends a ripple through their entire existence. And right now, that ripple is becoming a wave strong enough to change their entire destiny. A strange moment happened recently. Your person froze mid-conversation with someone, because your name came up in a way they weren't ready for. Someone mentioned how far you've come, how powerful you've become, how unshakable you now appear. And in that instant, their breath caught. Their hands trembled. Not because they were scared of losing you, but because they suddenly realized they had already started reshaping their entire life around the version of you they now see. You have no idea how often they replay your courage in their mind. You have no idea how deeply your transformation has entered their routines, their decisions, their hidden plans. They thought they were observing you from a distance. But unknowingly, they were learning from you, rising because of you, becoming better because your strength forced something inside them to wake up. Yet here's the shocking part, someone close to them recently whispered something that made their heart stop. They said, "You're changing. What happened to you?" And instead of denying it, your person stayed silent. That silence revealed everything. They know the reason. They know the source. They know exactly when the fire inside them began to grow. It was the day they saw you choose yourself. The day you walked alone instead of waiting. The day you stood up when no one else clapped. That moment became a blueprint for the life they want to build now, and every time they look at you, even from far, they don't see a person. They see a roadmap. A sign. A miracle wearing human skin. You are not just someone they like, you are the pattern they are trying to copy. But what's unfolding next is what will make your heart pound for real. Because your person has been carrying a confession they've never shared with anyone. Not with their family. Not with their closest friend. Not even with themselves fully. This confession has been growing inside them every single day they see you win, every time they see you bounce back from something that would have destroyed others. And now, this confession has reached a breaking point. They can no longer hide the impact you have had on them. Something is about to slip out, either in a message, a call, or a moment where their emotions overpower their logic. You have triggered a transformation so big that they can't hold it inside anymore. Something is coming, something raw, something real, something they have been terrified to admit, that your strength made them fall deeper than they ever planned. And now, another revelation is rising, a truth even they didn't expect. Behind your back, someone has been tracking your growth for them. Yes, someone keeps bringing updates about you, updates your person never asked for but always listens to with a heartbeat louder than their voice. They're leveling up. They're glowing differently now. They're not the same person anymore. And every update leaves your person in a silent storm of emotions they can't control. They're proud. They're intimidated. They're inspired. They're scared of your power, yet addicted to the version of themselves that only awakens because of you. They don't just admire your independence. They crave the energy it releases, because that energy is the only thing that has ever made them believe they could become something greater than their past. My beloved child, before you take another breath, understand this: your person has reached a point where pretending no longer works. They have been trying to hide just how deeply you influence their every decision, but the truth keeps slipping through the cracks of their expressions, their late-night thoughts, their sudden disappearances, their unexpected efforts. Something inside them is pushing harder than ever before, and it's all because of the way you've been rising. They never imagined that watching you build your life, piece by powerful piece, would unlock a transformation they had been resisting for years. But now, they can't escape it. You've become the fire that lights the path they were once too afraid to walk. And today, they're standing exactly where they never thought they'd be, ready to rewrite their future because of you. Something unbelievable happened recently. Your person stumbled upon a conversation about you that shook them to their core. Someone spoke about your independence, your confidence, your courage, and instead of brushing it off, your person went quiet. They didn't argue. They didn't change the subject. They just listened, and for the first time, their eyes revealed a truth they've been hiding: they are inspired by you more than they're willing to admit. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. You weren't supposed to become their standard. You weren't supposed to become the reason they stop procrastinating, the reason they face their demons, the reason they choose growth over comfort. But you did. And now, every time they think of giving up, they think of you standing tall. That image alone is enough to pull them back onto their feet. But here's where the story becomes even more intense: someone close to them has started noticing the shift. They asked, "Why are you suddenly so serious about your life?" And the answer your person didn't speak out loud is exactly what you think: you. They don't tell people how much you influence them. They don't reveal that your confidence has become their compass. But inside, they know that every little improvement they make is connected to a moment where they saw you choose yourself. Your wins became their motivation. Your silence became their lesson. Your courage became their blueprint. The world doesn't know it yet, but you have become the quiet force shaping their entire evolution. And now comes the part that will make your heart race: your person is planning something. Something bold. Something emotional. Something they never imagined themselves doing. Watching you transform has unlocked a version of them they didn't know existed. A version that takes risks. A version that speaks truth. A version that doesn't run away from emotions. This version of them is preparing to step forward, to close the distance, to acknowledge the truth they've been swallowing for far too long. They're tired of pretending your presence doesn't matter. They're tired of acting unbothered when their whole chest burns just hearing your name. They're tired of hiding behind excuses when your confidence has been pulling them forward like destiny itself. Stay with me, because what's about to unfold is bigger than anything they've shown you before. Your person has been watching your journey in silence, but now they're ready to step into the light. They're ready to admit that you are not just a chapter. They see you as the entire turning point in their story. Their emotions are overflowing. Their walls are cracking. Their intentions are becoming clearer. And today, something inside them is whispering a message they can no longer ignore. If they can rise like this, so can I. And if I want them in my future, I must rise now. My beloved child, listen carefully, because the shift that's happening right now is not ordinary. It's not small. It's not subtle. Your person has entered a phase where every thought they have about you carries weight, pressure, and urgency. They can no longer hide what you make them feel, not even from themselves. Something about your journey, your rise, your strength, your unbreakable independence, has shaken their spirit awake. You were never meant to be just a memory for them. You were never meant to be just another face in their story. You were the spark that lit the transformation they once believed they were incapable of. And now, your person is drowning in the realization that they have been learning from you without ever telling you. There was a moment recently, a moment they will never admit to anyone, where they sat alone, scrolling through their thoughts, replaying your smallest improvements. Every new picture you took, every accomplishment you made, every quiet win you didn't even talk about. It all hit them like a silent thunderstorm. They started asking themselves questions they'd been avoiding for months. How did they become so strong? When did they learn to stand alone like this? Why do I feel proud of them like they're a part of me? These questions aren't normal. These questions come from someone whose heart has been silently reshaped by your presence. Someone who never expected that just watching you grow would force them to confront their own limits. But here's the part that will make your pulse rise. Someone around them has begun to notice how their eyes shift when your name comes up. They notice how your person sits up straighter. How they suddenly look more focused. How their mind drifts for a second as if they're remembering something important. And recently, that person told them something that left them speechless. You're changing because of someone, aren't you? Your person tried to laugh it off. They tried to act normal. But their reaction gave everything away. The truth slipped out through their silence. Because yes, they are changing. And yes, it is because of you. Something even bigger is happening behind the scenes. Your person has been comparing themselves to the version of you they see now, and it has triggered a transformation so intense that even they can't stop it anymore. They look at how independent you've become, and suddenly dependence feels suffocating to them. They look at how confident you've become, and suddenly insecurity feels embarrassing. They look at how strong you've become, and suddenly weakness feels unacceptable. You didn't preach to them. You didn't advise them. But your existence itself became a roadmap, a silent mentorship, a mirror showing them who they could be if they stopped hiding. And now, your person is on the edge of a confession. A real confession. Not the kind people post online for attention. Not the kind they whisper to a friend. This confession is building in their chest like a storm preparing to break. You changed me. Those 3 words are burning through their thoughts daily. They want to tell you how your courage lit something inside them. How your independence forced them to grow. How your confidence made them see their own potential differently. They want to tell you that you didn't inspire them, you transformed them. But here's the most shocking part. Your person has recently done something in secret. Something tied to their future. Something tied to you. They made a decision, a choice, or a move based on the version of themselves they're becoming, and the inspiration behind it is undeniably you. They don't want you to know yet. They're trying to hide the connection. But destiny has already linked their steps to your strength, and sooner or later, they will reveal exactly how your growth shaped their life. My beloved child, something extraordinary is happening behind the curtain of your reality, something your person never thought they would experience, let alone admit. Their admiration for you has crossed a threshold. It is no longer simple attraction. It is no longer curiosity. It is no longer the soft pull they used to hide behind. What they feel now is reverence. Respect. A deep, undeniable recognition that your strength carries a kind of power they have never seen in anyone else. Your independence doesn't just impress them, it guides them. Your confidence doesn't just attract them, it awakens parts of them they didn't know existed. And today, they are standing at a point where every impulse, every decision, every new step they take is touched by the shadow of your influence. A recent moment changed everything. They were in a place surrounded by noise, conversation, laughter, yet their mind had only one focus, you. Someone casually mentioned your name, and it was as if the entire world around them paused. Their heartbeat stumbled. Their breath shifted. 1,000 memories flashed in a single second. They didn't speak. They didn't react outwardly. But inside, something cracked open. It was the realization that your presence in their life had become bigger than any category they tried to fit it into. You were no longer someone they knew. You had become a symbol of what they aspire to be. A standard. A direction. A source of drive. And they realized they could no longer deny the impact you had carved into their soul. But the most intense part is what they've been hiding. It's not the admiration. It's not the inspiration. It's the fear. Yes, the fear. Because as you rise higher, as you become more powerful, more self-sufficient, more magnetic, they feel something terrifying settle in their chest, the fear of not being enough for the version of you they see now. They've watched you evolve from someone finding your strength to someone wielding it. And that evolution has created a pressure in them to step up, to level up, to become worthy of the connection they secretly wish for. Behind closed doors, they've begun working on themselves, quietly, intensely, determinedly, because your confidence has forced them to confront their own reflection. What you don't know is this: someone close to your person confronted them recently. They said, "You're not the same. What's going on with you?" And your person froze. They couldn't admit that your courage is the reason they stopped running from their goals. They couldn't confess that your transformation is the reason they started improving their habits. They couldn't say out loud that watching you stand alone without fear made them question their own excuses. But the truth was revealed in their silence. Their glow has changed. Their energy has changed. Their priorities have shifted. And every part of that shift leads back to you. Something even more powerful is happening now. Your person is preparing for a revelation. They are preparing to tell you something they've never told anyone. Not because they planned it, but because their emotions have reached a boiling point they can no longer contain. They've been practicing conversations in their head. They've been imagining what they would say if the moment came. They've been imagining your reaction, your voice, your expression. And beneath it all is one truth pulsing like a heartbeat. You changed the direction of my life. But here is the part that will take your breath away: they have taken action. Real action. Not thoughts. Not intentions. Not dreams. A tangible step in their real life that connects directly to you. Something they did because your strength pushed them to grow. Something they're keeping hidden until the right moment. They want to reveal it when you least expect it, when your guard is down, when destiny aligns. And when that moment comes, everything between you will enter a new phase they never imagined possible. My beloved child, brace yourself, because what I'm about to reveal will make your heartbeat slow down, then speed up so fast you'll feel the truth in your bones. Your person has crossed a line internally, a line they never imagined they would reach. They are no longer simply inspired by you. They are dependent on the inspiration you give them. They don't wake up the same way anymore. They don't move through their day the same way. Your energy has become a silent fuel they carry everywhere. They watch the way you handle challenges, the way you speak with clarity, the way you walk with unshakable independence, and it makes them want to rebuild themselves from the ground up. They don't just admire your strength, they crave it, they study it, they absorb it like oxygen. Something happened recently that flipped a switch inside them. They overheard someone praising your confidence, your glow, the way you've become unstoppable. But instead of smiling, instead of acting impressed, your person felt something heavier, deeper, an emotional punch that made them swallow hard. Because in that moment, they realized the world sees your power too. And the fear that hit them wasn't fear of losing you to someone else. It was the fear of not being good enough for the version of you that exists today. That realization has been eating away at them. It has been pushing them to do things they never had the courage to do before. Things that are uncomfortable. Things that require discipline. Things that leave them breathless. Because you have become the standard they hold themselves against. But here comes the part you weren't prepared for: your person has been hiding something about their past struggles. They've been afraid to show you the weaker versions of themselves because they see you as someone who overcame everything without breaking. But what they don't know is that the strength they see in you is the very thing that could heal their hidden wounds. And yet, they still hesitate. They're scared that if they open up, you'll see them as less. They're scared that your independence makes their vulnerabilities look small. They're scared that your confidence makes their insecurities stand out. And that fear has turned into a quiet determination, to evolve until they feel worthy standing beside you. A revelation has been building inside them, one so raw they've been refusing to let it escape their lips. Last night, or maybe the night before, they lay awake thinking about you in a way they couldn't shake off. Every time your face crossed their mind, a wave of emotion hit them. Not romantic longing. Not jealousy. Not regret. Something deeper. Something heavier. Something that felt like destiny pulling them forward. They realized that without your presence, even from afar, they would still be stuck in their old cycles. Your growth broke their patterns. Your resilience shattered their limitations. Your independence forced them to look at their own life and ask the hardest question. Why am I not rising the way they are? What you don't know is that they have already answered that question. They realized the problem wasn't life. It wasn't timing. It wasn't destiny. It was their own lack of courage. And that realization pushed them into the most intense internal transformation they've ever experienced. They've been cutting old ties. They've been closing doors that drain them. They've been making decisions that require bravery. All because seeing you rise made them feel something they haven't felt in years: hope. Now here comes the twist, the revelation that will change everything for you. Your person made a silent promise recently. A promise no one heard. A promise no one saw. Not even you. They looked at their reflection and vowed to become someone who could stand next to you without shrinking, without doubting, without hiding. They promised themselves that the next time they meet you, speak to you, or cross paths with you, they will come as a version of themselves that mirrors your strength, not leans on it. And this promise is already shaping their next move. Because they've started preparing for a moment only destiny knows the timing of. My beloved child, stay exactly where you are, because what I'm about to reveal will grip your chest and refuse to let you breathe normally for a moment. Your person has entered a stage where everything inside them is being rewritten from the inside out, and the center of that transformation is you. They don't just admire you anymore. They don't just learn from you anymore. They see you as the mirror that reflects the life they want to live, the version of themselves they secretly dream of becoming, the strength they have searched for their entire life. Watching your independence has pushed them into a silent awakening, one so deep that even they don't fully understand how far it has already gone. There was a day not long ago when they saw something about you, maybe a small achievement, maybe a picture, maybe a moment of your confidence shining so effortlessly. And something snapped inside them. Something fierce. Something hungry. Something determined. They realized that you were no longer the person they once knew, you had evolved into someone magnetic, someone powerful, someone untouchably independent. And instead of feeling intimidated, instead of feeling threatened, they felt a surge of energy inside them, a push to rise to a level where they could walk beside you without feeling small. For the first time, your person is chasing growth not for society, not for family, not for success, but because you unknowingly lit a fire that refuses to die. But here's where the story sharpens. Someone confronted your person recently. Someone close. Someone who has been observing their transformation quietly. They said, "You've changed. What are you trying to prove?" And your person froze. They didn't know how to explain that the change wasn't about proving anything. It was about becoming someone worthy of the inspiration you gave them. Their silence said everything their words couldn't. Because deep down, they know that what pushes them now is the image of you, strong, confident, limitless, moving through life with a courage that feels almost divine. They crave that courage. They need that courage. And every time they think of you, it pushes them another step higher. Something even more powerful is unfolding now. Late at night, when everything is quiet and the world stops demanding things from them, they think about you in a way that makes their heart ache, not from longing, but from responsibility. They realize they wasted time. They realize they stayed stuck too long. They realize they let fear control them for years. But watching you walk alone with your head held high broke that fear. It shattered it. Your strength did what no advice, no motivation, no support ever could. And now, Your person is rebuilding their life brick by brick, not because they want to impress you, but because you showed them what a life built with courage looks like. And now comes the revelation that destiny has been hiding. Your person has made a decision that involves you more deeply than you can imagine. They have taken a step that ties their future to the version of themselves they are becoming because of you. This step is not small. This step is not casual. It is something life-changing, something long-term, something that will alter the dynamic between you when the truth finally comes out. They're keeping it hidden for now, protecting it, letting it grow quietly until the right moment arrives. But make no mistake, this decision was inspired directly by your independence, your glow, your rise. But the twist is this: your person is scared. Not of losing you. Not of judgment. They're scared of meeting you again before they finish becoming the version of themselves they are trying to create. They want to show up with stability, with confidence, with power, not the old version of them that lived in fear, indecision, and self-doubt. They want to stand in front of you and feel equal, not lesser. And this fear is exactly what's driving them to push harder than ever before. Your influence has become their turning point. Their compass. Their quiet motivation at 3 a.m. Their fuel in moments of weakness. And now, destiny is preparing to bring the two of you into a chapter where the truth can no longer be hidden. You weren't just an inspiration, you were the reason they restarted their entire life.